On February 28, 2026, at dawn, the entire Middle East was broken. I mean, just completely fractured. This is the story of an attack so massive, so coordinated, it wasn't designed to just injure a country. It was designed to cut its head clean off.
And as the bombs started falling, all the high-level strategy and politics just vanished. It melted away into pure, raw human terror. For millions of people on the ground, this wasn't some geopolitical chess match. It was literally the end of their world.
Just think about that. Tehran, the first day of the Iranian work week, a day that started like any other, kids going to school, and it ended with the world completely on fire. Okay, so let's be clear. This was not some isolated strike. This was a massive, perfectly synchronized offensive, hitting from the air, from cyberspace, from everywhere. And it was planned with a goal that was, frankly, chillingly simple. This was a joint operation, months in the making. You had two main players. The Americans called their part Operation Epic Fury, and their goal was nothing short of total regime change. Meanwhile, the Israelis called theirs Operation Roaring Lion, which was focused on taking out immediate threats. Two different names, but really it was one single, devastating purpose.
The first wave was just overwhelming. Over 200 Israeli fighter jets screaming into Iranian airspace. The IDF would later say it was the single largest attack sortie they'd ever launched.
And their target list was huge. In just a few hours, that aerial armada hit nearly 500 different sites across the entire country. We're talking everything from command and control bunkers to hidden missile silos.
The effect was instantaneous. As the bombs were hitting, the country went dark. National internet connectivity just plummeted to 4% of normal. 4. Iran was plunged into a total information black hole.
So the big question is, how did it get this bad? An attack like this doesn't just happen out of the blue. It was really the final violent explosion at the end of a long, slow-burning fuse of pressure, internal collapse, and failed diplomacy.
You can trace it back pretty clearly. A few months before, you had strikes hitting Iran's nuclear program. Then, the regime turned on its own people, just brutally crushing this massive uprising, killing an estimated 32,000 civilians. A massacre, really. And after that, well, any last-ditch diplomatic talks were pretty much just for show. When they inevitably failed, the path to war was set in stone.
And this is where we see a huge shift in strategy. The goal wasn't containment anymore. No, the goal was decapitation. The systematic, targeted elimination of Iran's entire political and military leadership.
And they weren't even subtle about it. The U.S. president made the goal brutally clear in a direct message to the Iranian people. This wasn't just about bombs on buildings, it was an open invitation to overthrow the government. They were trying to create a power vacuum and spark a revolution from the ashes. The strikes were surgically precise. And when I say decapitation, I mean it. Look at this list. The entire senior command of the IRGC, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the absolute heart of the regime, was just wiped out. The head of the Defense Council, the commanders of the ground forces, the aerospace forces, all of them gone. The regime's iron fist was completely shattered. But behind all the cold, hard military math, there's always an unbearable human cost, right? The regime called it a test of national resistance. For ordinary people, it was a trial by fire.
Yeah, the satellite images told one story. They confirmed the mission was a success. The Supreme Leader's compound, this huge symbol of power, was nothing but a smoldering crater. But the real horror of this war wasn't felt in the corridors of power.
85. Just let that number sit there for a second. It represents a catastrophe that's almost impossible to comprehend.
Because that's what this number means. According to Iran's own judiciary, a single strike on a girls' elementary school in the city of Minab killed 85 students, schoolgirls. That is the gut-wrenching reality of what the military calls collateral damage.
So you might think, okay, the attack's over, conflict's done, right? Absolutely not. This attack didn't anything, it just ignited a global crisis. A decapitated but still defiant Iran didn't just take the punch, it hit back hard, kicking off a firestorm that put the whole world on edge.
They called it True Promise 4. Iran unleashed this massive wave of retaliation. Missiles started raining down on U.S. bases all over the Gulf, in Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain. They even slammed into the port city of Haifa in Israel. This wasn't just an attack on Iran anymore. This was a full-blown, multi-front regional war.
And the global economic shockwaves hit immediately. The IRGC threatened to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, the channel that a fifth of the world's oil flows through. Oil prices were projected to just explode. Investors, of course, panicked, running to safe assets like gold, while hundreds of commercial ships were suddenly trapped in the middle of a war zone.
So that's day one. The head of the regime has been cut off, but its body is still thrashing, violently. The entire region is burning, the global economy is teetering on the edge, and the whole world is just holding its breath,